Hi, this is the session on the components of health-related fitness for the BTEC Sport Award Unit 1. Right, so on the screen is your first task, and basically I want you to answer the question, what are the health-related components of fitness? You should have a spare piece of paper near you. I want you to try and write those down on a piece of paper, pause the video before progressing on while you do that, and then play the video again once you've completed the task. Right, so those components are on the screen now. We'll go from the top. So aerobic endurance. There are a few other names for aerobic endurance which we'll go over later, but really you should be looking to use aerobic endurance as the name. Muscular strength, speed, body composition, flexibility, and muscular endurance. Hopefully you've got all of those down. If you've got any others, then obviously you're getting confused between health-related components and skill-related components. If you've got any of those wrong, or you've got any others in there, I want you to scrumple up that piece of paper, write down the right answers, cover it, see if you can write them down again, do a bit of a task until you can write all those 6 down without having to look at the piece of paper, then start the video all over again and try and do the first task again. So well done, you've completed your first task. We're now moving on to speed and defining speed. So again, I want you to pause the video, try and write down what you think speed is, and I'll progress on to the next slide with the definition. Here we are with speed, so there's quite a lot of information you should have got down. The simple definition is the ability to move part or your whole body quickly. Really easy, simple definition to remember. Then we've got the equation to work out speed. So speed equals distance divided by time. And then we've got 3 different types of speed. So we've got accelerative speed, which is up to 30 meters, any sprint up to 30 meters. Pure speed, which is any sprint up to 60 meters. And speed endurance, which is when you sprint, have a short rest, and then you sprint again. Hopefully you've got all that information. If not, again, use what we talked about earlier. Have a look at it, read all through it, cover it, see if you can write it all down again. See if you can sort of talk to somebody about it, talk them through what speed is, etc., to try and learn it. Okay. With speed out the way, we're going to look at flexibility. So there's a good sort of example in the pictures, and as we go through, you should notice that the pictures are all examples of the different component that we're talking about. So use exactly the same technique to do the flexibility. Write down on a scrap piece of paper the definition and all the information you can think of on flexibility, and I'll move on to the answer. And there it is. So there's 2 different definitions that we've talked about in lessons before. There's the range of movement around the joint, which is my personal favourite that I find really easy to remember. And then there's the textbook one that they use for BTEC, which is the ability to move all joints fluidly through their complete range of movement. So basically what that means is the joints move well. They have a good range of movement through all of the range that they could move. So there's no sort of barrier to stop them being able to move as much as they could. Hopefully you got that right. So I'm going to progress on through to the next, which is muscular strength. Exactly the same task again. Write down what muscular strength is, and I will progress on through to the answer. Make sure you pause the video. Here's the answer. Muscular strength, I think, is one of the easiest ones to remember. So it is the maximum force that a muscle or a muscle group can produce. So it's the maximum amount of force of push that a muscle could produce. It's measured in kilograms, kg, or newtons, a capital N. Remember that all the little bits of extra information could be really important when it comes to the exam. So although you know that definition, make sure that you still remember the little bits extra, such as what it's measured in and so forth. We're progressing on. Body composition, lovely picture there to say about one of the testing methods we're going to look at later on with the BMI. But I want the information on body composition now, please. Make sure you pause the video as always. And there it is, again, quite a simple one, I think. So it's the ratio of fat mass. So fat mass is just anything that is just the fat that's in your body. And fat-free mass is your vital organs, your muscles, and your bones. Okay, so it's the ratio of fat mass you've got in your body and fat-free mass that you've got in your body. Quickly go through to aerobic endurance, probably the most important component of fitness, I think, in terms of health. Again, we said that there's a few different names for aerobic endurance, so hopefully you'll be able to write those down as well as the definition. Make sure you pause it and I'll progress through to the answer. Here's your answer. So it's also known as, it's 3 different names: cardiorespiratory fitness, cardiorespiratory endurance, and aerobic fitness. And the definition is the ability of the cardiorespiratory system, so that's your heart and your lungs, to work efficiently to supply nutrients and oxygen to the working muscles during sustained physical activity. Now that's a little bit wordy, so I'm going to break it down. So it's the heart and lungs, ability of the heart and lungs to work well to get nutrients and oxygen to the working muscles when you're exercising for a long period of time. That's basically what that means, okay? We're progressing on to the next, and we're on muscular endurance. Press-ups are a great muscular endurance activity. So again, I'm looking for the definition and any other information you can give me. Make sure you pause it before progressing on. And there it is. It's quite a long one, this one. So it's the ability of the muscular system to work efficiently. So it's the muscular system to work well, in which a muscle can repeatedly contract over a period of time against a light to moderate fixed load. Again, quite wordy. So it means it's the ability of the muscles to work well when the muscle is repeatedly contracting, so getting larger and smaller, when it's contracting against a small amount of resistance. So it's not something, you're not pushing against something that's really heavy, you're pushing against something that's quite a light to moderate amount of force. Right, that ends the video. Hopefully you've been able to give all of the definitions, all of the extra little bits of information. It's really important that you know absolutely everything that is on this video. So what I want you to do is try to apply each component of fitness to a different sport. Really, really important. We haven't got a video for that, but you should be able to apply each of the components that you've just done to a sport in example. If you want to write those down and bring them into your teacher, that's not a problem. They're happy to check those for you. Or you can show them to parents and talk about your parents, talk it through with your parents and explain to them how the different components relate to the sports and so on. Try to complete one of the other videos that we've done. There's ones on all of the different topics throughout the course, so try and complete one of those. Or if you didn't do this video perfectly, you just went through it, then I want you to have a little break and then come back and try and do it perfectly, getting all of the information written down. Good luck with the rest of your revision.